Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's wonderful to see you all. We are the Oxalis Trio, and ordinarily we would jump right into the music, but I just wanted to say a couple of introductory comments. I know not everybody has a physical program, so if you don't, there is a QR code on the screen, and you can scan that to get the program. And we'll be introducing each piece as we go along. If you have a cell phone, you might want to turn that off now or silence it, just not to interrupt things. So the first piece is by Malcolm Arnold. Perhaps not well known to everyone, but he wrote a lot of great music for wind instruments and with many movie scores as well. I think 100 movies, won the Academy Award for that. So he's a very accomplished composer, if not all that, not a household name. So this is a suite bourgeois, and it's in 5 movements. A suite is generally a collection of dances. So this starts with a prelude, then a tango, then one titled Dance Censored, and then a ballad and a waltz. By Malcolm Arnold. Enjoy. Thank you. The next work is by Frederick Delius, an interesting person in the history of music. He was born to German immigrants in England who expected him to go into the family trade, but he wanted nothing to do with it. So as something of a compromise, he found an opening for a manager of an orange grove in Florida. Finally, Fritz was finding his way, so they said, go ahead, be the manager. So he went off to Florida to manage this orange grove, and by all accounts, he was completely absent from the job, traveling about. And while he was there, it was a very important time in his life. He was in his early 20s, I think, and he absorbed all of the sounds, all the music from that area, in particular the spirituals and the slave songs. And he then returned to Europe, settling mostly in France, and that's when he became a composer. And all those early experiences really influenced his compositions. So you'll hear in this piece, written by a European, something that sounds very much like the South. This is an intermezzo that was part of, I believe, an opera that Delius wrote. So please enjoy.
Our next piece is written by Gustav Holst, and although the name sounds German, he was actually British. And most of you may know this name because of his most famous piece called The Planets. But he was actually a very prolific composer and wrote great many other wonderful pieces. And this particular one is written in the neoclassical style, which means he was referring to old forms, mostly Baroque ones, when thinking about this piece. And the idea of that particular style of music was to avoid the romantic excess in music. So we have three brief movements, and Holst himself called this the shortest concerto in the world. Three brief movements: moderate, I'm going to translate the Italian names to English, moderate, slow, and fast. And the first one has the famous Baroque element called fugue. We're going to hear the same theme in all three parts passed around, basically, chasing each other. And then the second movement is very contemplative and pensive and to me very soulful, perhaps referring to some slow movements in Bach's Brandenburg Concerti. And then the third one combines two themes, which is in Baroque music is called double fugue. We're going to have first theme introduced and really developed in all three parts of the trio. And then we're going to have the second theme introduced, which is based on an English folk song with some really random, funny lyrics. If all the world were paper and all the sea were ink, if all the trees were bread and cheese, what should we do for drink? And also, the peculiar thing about this piece is that it was finished in the library, but here in America, in the Library of Michigan in Ann Arbor. And the piece was started on none of the continents because Holst conceived and wrote it mostly on the ship traveling to America. I thought this would be an interesting thing to mention.
So our next work is by a composer named Ulysses Kay. Again, not maybe a household name. And you'll notice that in a lot of our programs, we don't play Bach, Beethoven, Brahms, maybe some Bach, because they didn't write for this combination of instruments. So we're relying on a lot of other composers, which is fun for us because we get to discover new composers to us and hopefully new composers to you. Ulysses Kay, I had a hard time finding the score for this. None of the music stores had it. The usual libraries that I go to didn't have it, but I finally found it at Lehman College Library. And I thought, well, why Lehman College in the Bronx? It's not a music powerhouse. Turns out that Ulysses Kay taught there for 20 or 30 years, and as a distinguished professor there. I did some more research on Ulysses Kay and his life, and I was very surprised to find a letter in the Columbia University library from my teacher, John Solom, to Ulysses Kay. A work that he had commissioned from Ulysses Kay back in the 60s. And so it's wonderful to have this connection to that piece. And I will also note that John Solom is a resident of Westport, and I'm honored to have him here in the audience today. So thank you, John. So this, once again, is a suite for a duo for flute and oboe, so a collection of songs again. It starts with a prelude, then air, a minuet, and a gigue. So, enjoy.
Thank you, everyone, for having us. Welcome our pianist back on the stage. This is the only break she gets in this program. As you can tell, she has way more notes to play than we do. Our next piece is by Lily Boulanger. And if you have heard the name Boulanger associated with composition, you've probably heard of her sister, Nadia Boulanger, who was one of the most famous composition teachers in the 20th century. She taught Aaron Copland, Elliott Carter, Daniel Barenboim, Philip Glass, Quincy Jones. She had a lot of very famous students, and she lived well into her 90s and was one of the most important composition teachers. A lot of people don't know that she had a younger sister who was equally, if not more talented, but had a lot of childhood illnesses that prevented her from going very far in life. Lily Boulanger only lived to the age of 24, I believe. And in that very short lifespan, she managed to be the first woman to win the Prix de Rome Composition Prize at the Paris Conservatoire, which was very impressive and something that her older sister had not achieved at that time. And this is one of just a few pieces that she wrote. It was originally for orchestra, and this is a arrangement for flute, oboe, and piano called D'un matin de printemps.
Templeton.
Thank you all for coming once more. Our last piece is very unusual. It's our latest discovery, and the first time we're playing it in this, actually the second time we're playing it in this season. It was written by Alec Templeton, also a British composer, and he was blind from birth. However, he got quite famous, and when he became part of a band, a jazz band, in Britain, he traveled to the US, and the band toured in the US, playing jazz music, and then left back, but Templeton stayed. And in 1941, he was became a naturalized citizen of the United States. He became quite famous as a radio host. He had a program of his own. He was a guest artist in many other radio shows, and he was great at parody, at caricature, I guess, improvising. He was, I think he was just incredible. Being blind and so talented, he was also great as a composer. As you'll hear, he had his own peculiar style. This is very hard on the pianist, sort of. You hear it's piano heavy, which I'm grateful for. It's great to play something so challenging, but also to think to myself, if he could do this complex music being blind, I should also be able to play all these jumps and passages, so we'll see how I do. 3 movements, and stick around for questions if we have any after the concert.
Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. We'd like to add a little encore. To say farewell, this is the Ashokan Farewell by Jay Unger, as arranged here by, excuse me, let me just do this. Ashokan Farewell by Jay Unger, arranged by David Kempers. David and I went to summer camp together in high school. So I have not seen Dave since then, but we've kept in touch. As far as I know, he still has braces and a mullet. So he arranged this for us, for this specific trio. I hope you enjoy it. It's been a wonderful afternoon. Thank you all so much for coming.